come off air to put yourself on talk.
Welcome to SailGP on the Lock. My name is Jody Shells and I'm joined once again with Anna Wilcox and Chris Steele. Welcome both of you.
Thanks for having us. Pumped to be here, guys.
So good to be back, Jody. Event 2 for us here with...
On the edge, he said that the only way the Aussies beat you was when they were slightly weakened squad and they had Nathan steering. So, he's throwing the gauntlet down, mate.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to hear that. It's not really what you should be saying. Or definitely, there's a weakened squad. Anything he's involved in. So I was a bit surprised to hear that. At the end of the day, Pete and his team are at the top team at the moment. And he's got the right to say a lot of these things that they have been beating us. We were a consistent team at the start of the year, but they've won a lot more events than us this year. And so, I've got nothing bad to say about Pete and the Kiwis. I think they're unbelievable and they're deserving of the top spot at the moment. And I'm really focused inwards, really. I'm focused on ourselves and me personally becoming the best driver I can be and doing my job well and time on the water for these other teams when you're sitting on the sidelines. So it's a really sort of a heavy blow, I think, for the US guys, because you learn a lot more when you're out there sailing the boats than you will do on the land. So pretty upsetting for them and all the US fans back home around the world. But
Lindsey Vonn, she has now invested in the team. They've got all these amazing athletes who have invested, and Lindsey Vonn is the latest, the skier from the US. So I wonder what she's thinking about this. But obviously, it was a big day of practice racing yesterday. Who for you guys stood out as some of the heavy hitters that will be coming in hot today?
Yeah, I think probably the team to sort of watch in these sort of conditions would have to be the French. Obviously outside of New Zealand and Australia, who are really strong in these conditions. But interesting thing for me is going to be the battle of the midfield. I think you've sort of got the Danes.
Going to do a drive on the inside.
Yeah, Phil
Outreach, you're going to hurt there.
Yeah, I don't think Outreach he's going to have to soak down and might fall off the foil here, and that'll be very costly. Yeah,
Pete Burling will come flying in there and just give him more grief here.
This is going to go from bad to worse for Nathan here. Look at this. Burling
slower than a wet week going around that mark.
And you watch the Danish are going to come through as well. They'll slingshot around the outside.
Oh, no.
He is just going to be swallowed. Most of the fleets come to this left-hand side looking upwind. There's only two boats by the looks of it, the Aussies and the French that have gone to the right. Or maybe the Spanish have now followed them, and the Germans by the looks of it. But what a costly error there by the Swiss. Maybe they just didn't see the Kiwis till really late.
They just weren't crossing, Jody, and it wasn't by much. So I think they pushed into the last minute. And then they tried to drive in front, but on a tight ley line that never worked. Miss ley lines and lose a lot.
And we've got this is obviously a big race course in comparison to, like you said, maybe Christchurch as well. So that, I guess, creates more opportunity for passing. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely a lot more room for passing. But one thing that does dull down is the manoeuvres that the boat's making. So doing less manoeuvres, but more separation, which creates opportunity anytime you've got leverage on another boat. So if the breeze is shifty and patchy, which it certainly is out there, if there's some big separation between teams, there'll be some big gains and losses out there.
Massive losses, and we're talking about losses. Outreach, he was in the mix for coming into that bottom mark, and he's back to 6th. With Eric Heil's look at Eric Heil and the Germans in the middle of the course. One of those big left-hand shifts that you were talking about, Chris. He's just going straight down the course there. Possibly 2 jibes for the Kiwis, and maybe one more for the Canadians. So that could come into play.
And we'd love to know your guys' thoughts out there. So hit us up on our social channels, hit us up on our YouTube. Sorry, we've been having a little bit of tech issues on the YouTube channel, on the YouTube stream. Sorry, but hopefully we're back and we're locked in with you guys. So yeah, if you guys have any questions that you want us to answer, hit us up, and I'll fire it through to the boys.
Here we go. The Aussies are around the bottom mark. About a 600, 700 metre lead to Tom Slingsby and his team from Australia after smashing into the finish mark in Christchurch. They've got the bit between their teeth and they have give this fleet a bath in race number 1 in Bermuda. And over the line they go. Massive win for their confidence.
Big starboard port coming up here between New Zealand and Canada. Canada comes across and has right of way. So they cross in front, but they're not laying that bottom gate. You know, being at the ideal position on the start line is one thing, but being up to speed at the wrong end of the line is actually often a lot better, because, you know, the deltas, when you've got the boat fully up and going, you know, it can be, you'd be sailing 15 knots faster, and, you know, you might only be 2 or 3 knots faster at the start, but if you've got a rumble on, you know, you can convert that, because you can get over the boats around you and sail the modes that you want. So, you know, the Aussies just found a really open space there on the line, and they were able to get a full slingshot. Everyone else was kind of interfering with each other, and when it gets to that situation, the rich just get richer.
All right, I think we're going to be able to dial into Aidan Menzies, who's standing on the Australian boat right now in the middle of Bermuda. So if technology works, let's see how this goes. This is the first.
Or given redress or anything like that, it's part of racing. The fact is,
shout out
straight into Canada,
you know, just anything at all. We'd love to hear from you guys. We're here for you guys.
There's a high chance I'll be walking away with,
and hopefully bringing you guys some quality
points
sailing chat.
And keep racing
Boys
in the
doing a good job so
event.
far. Chris, you're a
the way the umpires looked at it
current
was
sailor right now.
based
When
on
you're
their
not on the
flow
golf
chart,
course,
which is
you
how
are
they
actually
assess
sailing,
damage.
aren't you? What have
If
you
you
been
look
up
at the
to
flow
since
chart, it's like
since the
minor
Christchurch
damage,
event?
damage, serious damage.
Yeah, well,
and everyone
actually
else that
quite a big
weekend
golf.
came off with damage.
Yeah, I know.
Because they could keep sailing.
We've
But it was serious
had
damage
busy
because the
stint
Australians
sailing
couldn't keep sailing.
since Christchurch. Been over in the
And
States with
essentially, the Australians
M32s,
came out
and then
with almost worst case
competed in the
scenario
Congressional
where the
Cup
season points were
in
so
Long Beach
significant
sort of last week.
that,
So
you know,
yeah, really
not only are they
fun
knocked off
couple of
first
weeks of
place,
sailing,
but they're at risk
as
of not
always,
making the
keen
final.
to
I
to
feel
tune
like
in and check out
for me, the umpires should be able to see that
what
it's
better
not all
place
black
than
and
to-
white. There are
watch
grey
that,
areas
from
in our
Bermuda. It
sport,
looks
and
awesome out
I
there.
think the penalty
Milky
was
waters,
too harsh.
sunny,
My
warm,
feeling was we
and
just
always
didn't
plenty of
deserve the
breeze.
maximum points.
And it's
ever
very
given
remiss of
in
me at the very
SailGP.
top of the
But
show.
we've had
We've
what
got to
I'll call
congratulate
quite-
And we had all the room, could do whatever we wanted. It was a nice, great start, and we're excited. This is perfect conditions. Hopefully we can back it up with 2 more good races.
Racecourse looks, fairly simple. Is it a little bit of shifts to play with? Not too gusty?
It is shifty. It's about shifting between about 20 degrees, so it's not one of those courses where you just go straight to the boundaries. It's it doesn't look that shifty, but it really is. So it's good. It means there's some overtaking lanes if you do get back.
Thanks, Tom. I'll let you go debrief. Thanks for chatting.
Well, there you go. That just reinforced what we were saying, Chris and Anna, about how shifty the course is. You notice the look on Tom's face then? The stress was gone.
I don't know if I've ever seen him that happy
Happy.
and calm, pre-race. I've seen him like that after racing, but seems in a very relaxed place, doesn't he?
Yeah, so that obviously tells me he's got a pretty solid, fast boat underneath him, and he feels good about it. Have we had a quick chat about what happened in the practice? Pressure on him. Tom Slingsby, who nailed that last race right up his clacker. They're going to come over here to this boundary. They're going to have to jibe out early, the Germans, to give the Aussies some boundary room, which might play nicely for the Aussies as they get nice and deep. Geez, they push the envelope there on the boundary.
Yeah, the Aussies actually nailed that jibe and ended up on the outside. I think the Germans will still protect the lead here, but currently the Aussies will actually be breathing air in front there at the moment. So a really nice manoeuvre from the Australian team there.
I like what Spain were doing. They jibed off early, and here we go now. We've got that shot now. And they seem to get a real nice knock just as they jibed. They just sent him straight down the course. So
And they won't lay the
well.
bottom of the course there, but they'll come back on starboard, so this could get real fruity. They might actually benefit the Australians here.
once again, great. Canada went left, stayed in pressure, and it certainly paid for him.
Wise. They will be giving way.
Come on, guys.
Nice aggressive tack there by the Canadians. And from that shot, the Aussies are going to have a real good crack at him here.
Full overlay here, eh?
Yeah, you can hear Phil just saying we're well overlaid, so...
I have not crossed it.
Yeah, no, they're... Ooh,
Oh, the Germans.
Germany. Big bow down.
Oh, mate. The pressure's on now. We're going to hopefully see a little bit of excitement.
The poor number 6 sailor on that German boat. She was in the middle of the boat when that happened. It would have been like she was on a bucking bull.
What did we say? Kiwis coming back 4th at the top. That's the power of being able to sync with the competition and just being able to sail targets and hit modes that you want to be able to sail. They might even end up 3rd here. So
yeah, across in front of Spain.
Yeah.
The Aussies will come back strong here at the top because they're going to lay right turn, and the Canadian team are not laying left turn. So, although the Canadians might be 50 metres ahead at the moment, they'll have to do one more tack, and I think the Aussies will come flying through to leeward here.
Have a go, Phil Snell, Charlie. Just got a big header right at the worst time. The Aussies are probably going to cross. No. He ducked again. Oh, here we go. Slammed right in his face.
He's going to go straight through to leeward, and he's going to lay the top. So, even though he wasn't crossing,
Phil, bad
he's still in
tack.
front.
Yeah, he might have been better off just maybe pushing and trying to... Oh, he couldn't have split. Look at that. No, he couldn't have split. He had to do that.
The mistake that he made was when he crossed in front of the Aussies on port, 3/4 of the way up that beat. He should have tacked on them and starboard then, so that he was in phase and then he was able to get to the lay line with one more manoeuvre. By splitting, he just put himself in a position where he had 2 tacks and he gave away the left.
Guys, I mean, obviously it's a huge race for 3rd at the moment. There's 6 teams gunning for that 3rd spot. So, I mean, obviously we've got the Aussies and the Kiwis who 1 and 2 on the massive leaderboard. But, yeah, it's going to be really interesting who's going to get that 3rd spot. Phil Robinson, I mean, the Canadians, they're looking strong time and time again.
Yeah, he always does. He's always there or thereabouts, Phil, as long as he's not getting himself into trouble with Craig Mitchell and the umpiring team. You know, he's there. Jeez, I can't believe what happened to the Germans and the French. Obviously, we're not privy to anything live, so we're relying on what their broadcasts are putting out to us. But, yeah, they were way back.
The Germans were right up there. It's, 3/4 of the way up that beat, and they just came out of attack and they ventilated. I don't know if they got too high on the foil or what, but they came crashing down. And yeah, they just, from there, they never recovered. They went from probably 4th or 5th. And
more event race, but hopefully start a little closer to the front. Pete Byrne, Liv Mackay, thanks for your time. Wish you the best of luck in the 3rd and final race today.
Great to hear from Pete down there. I've found it interesting to see how these sort of teams, I guess, can configurate themselves to sort of maximise, I guess, each team. And the Kiwis have taken JJ out of the boat, Josh Jr., as a grinder, and now he's actually in the coaching booth with Ray Davies, which has been, I think, a real benefit for the team to have a sort of sailor in the coach's booth and someone who's got that, I guess, on-board experience. What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
Yeah, I think they're probably the first sort of notable sort of move to put obviously one of the sailors that was on the boat into the coaching booth. So I think they've probably seen a lot of opportunity there and taking the lead and trying to strengthen the coach's box. And we obviously got Ray Davies in there as well, who's a legend of the sport. And when it comes to tactics, the cool thing about it is obviously all the teams have access to each other's data sort of from the boat each day. So if one team's doing something differently, everyone else can pick up on it and respond and match it if they want.
Yeah, I mean, the competition side, the pressure is interesting. I guess it depends on the personalities and I guess like whether people thrive on the unknown and whether you're going to get selected or whatever on the day. I remember when I was competing at the Olympic Games and the different teams who were sort of obviously going to the Olympics, the Americans had a unique structure. We sort of were able to qualify and check that box, months before the Olympic Games, whereas the Americans, they ran the Olympic trials literally like weeks before the Olympic Games. And that was an interesting dynamic to kind of have that pressure on who was going to go to the
young team of Spain after a great start. The Aussies are very strong. They've come back after the disaster in Christchurch and showed the fleet that they're here for business. And Canadia's strong.
Canadia's strong.
Canadia's strong.
Yeah.
very disappointed in the Swiss and also in the Great Britain. I know Joel Scott's a new driver, but they've got Goobs, they've got Parko, who have been in this series since day one.
Yeah.
In the flight and the wing control, and they're very settled in their grinder positions as well. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that GBR boat.
Yeah, they don't have much excuse to be sailing the way they've been sort of sailing. They've got, like you say, a pretty solid team. So, yeah, not sure what's going on there.
Steely?
Well, yeah, just looking at the results here of that last race, and